Hi, Wendy. How are you doing? So, let's talk some more tea here. Last time I did a video on how I brew my tea. We've gone through brewing. And then I decided I should probably go over maybe a little bit more depth some of the gear I actually use. So we'll go with that. Meanwhile, there's Saber, who wants to get into the garage. Actually, Saber over there. Yeah. Anyway, how I brew. So, gone through brewing in general, the difference between Gongfu brewing and Western brewing is you're going to be using a lot of leaf relative to how much water you're using. You're going to be brewing for shorter time periods, usually 5 to 10 seconds for your first infusion, and adding 2 or 3 seconds, up to 5 seconds per infusion after that. With Western brewing, you typically only get one steeping out of the amount of leaves used. With Gongfu brewing, you're getting multiple steepings. So you need something to brew your tea in. And there are two traditional vessels for brewing your tea. The first one is a gaiwan. A gaiwan is what I used in the last video. It is a lidded bowl. It is made out of porcelain. There are some other ceramics that it's made out of. It's a glazed, it's a glazed pot, so it does not pick up any flavors of the tea. It's a great vessel to use if you've got a lot of different teas and you're trying different teas. It's a great vessel to use because it's not going to pick up any flavors from any previous teas that have been brewed in it. The lid serves two functions: helps to hold the heat in, and you can use it as a sort of strainer to help hold back the leaves when you pour it out. The other vessel that is traditionally used for Gongfu brewing is an I Ching pot. I got two I Ching pots here. This is the I Ching pot I normally use for my iron goddess. I used a gaiwan last time. This is the I Ching pot I normally use for my iron goddess. And this is the I Ching pot I use for my Dong Pao, my big red robe that I love so much. It's made from a special clay. The big deal about I Ching pots is, especially the insides, are porous, which means they will absorb the flavor of the tea that you're brewing in it over the course of time. I don't know if this is marketing, but it's even said that over time, a pot that has had a lot of tea brewed in it, you can just pour hot water into it and get a cup of tea out of it without putting any leaves in it at all. I haven't had any of my pots long enough to do that with. I actually have several of these, and I bought several of these before I had a real understanding of what it was I was doing. I've now got these two pots that I primarily use because I've got two teas that I especially use to brew a lot of. My iron goddess and my big red robe. If you find a tea you really, really like, you might want to consider getting an I Ching pot for it and brew that kind of tea in it. By the way, when I say I'm using this for my iron goddess, I will use just about any kind of iron goddess I will brew in this. I used to think that every time I got a new tea, I had to get a new I Ching pot. I had to get a new I Ching pot for it. No, you don't. Which is why I ended up with so many I Ching pots that I don't really use anymore. So if you find a tea you like, go ahead, get an I Ching pot for it. But I would start off with, especially for someone just getting into tea, I would start off with the gaiwan. This is a fairness pitcher. You can pour directly from the cup, from the gaiwan into the cups you're going to be serving in, or you can pour into a pitcher purpose of the picture is it's called a fairness cup because when you first pour off, when you first pour from your gaiwan or your Yixing pot, the first little bit of tea you pour is going to be less strong than the last little bit of tea you pour. This way, you pour all the tea into into that pitcher, and everybody will get the same strength of tea. Strainer to pour through in case there are any little bits that come out. A cup. And generally speaking, in Gong Fu brewing, you are going to be serving multiple steepings, small servings. Yeah, part of the idea is to taste how the tea changes over time, over each successive steeping. So you've got this tea cup, you've used it, you need this tea strainer, you've used it. Where do you put it when you're done? You've got what I think is probably the creepiest thing on my table, a little hand all ready to give you a prostate exam to hold your tea strainer. When you're brewing your tea, there's going to be, especially if you're using the Yixing pot, you are going to be making a lot of wastewater. So you need some place to catch that water. Now, there are a couple of different things. This is my tea table. It's had lots and lots of tea go through it over the course of time. It's got all sorts of stains on it. And I keep thinking I need to get a bigger one, and a nicer one. This was a relatively cheap one that I got years ago when I first got into tea. But I don't know. There's all sorts of memories in these things right now. Every single one of these stains. You can see where I usually keep the, you can kind of see where I usually keep have the hand that holds the strainer right over there. There's a little spot right here that's kind of worn a little bit. That's where I always usually put, that's where my teapots usually go. My pitchers go here. I put my cups along this row over here. I've got this kind of sound like that. The English not really good. One thing about this one is it has a tray to catch the water in. I don't know who that was. You got a tray to catch the water in. At the end of a session, you basically take this and dump this out because you end up making wastewater when you are brewing Yixing tea. Okay, so that is generally speaking the gear that I have been using. Let's get my tea stuff back up here. Okay, you may have heard the water heating up. I now have some hot water over here. And there's my cat. I got a feeling he's going to be joining me in a minute. Oh, hey, looky there, it's a cat. I'm talking to Aunt Wendy. I can't hold you now. Yeah, I know. Oh, we're gonna take a moment here and give the cat some love. All right. There you go. Okay. Right. Okay. So, tea. It's time to make some tea. You may have heard the water boiling. The water is hot. I'm going to be trying. Say hi, Aunt Wendy. See, look. That's Aunt Wendy. Aunt Wendy's right there. Look. No. Look. See, Aunt Wendy. Okay. Tea. Yes, Aunt Wendy. I give up. Aunt Wendy. Tea. I'm going to be brewing today a brand new kind of tea that I've never brewed before. So this is going to be a first for me, and I'm going to be brewing it differently from how I normally brew my tea. And normally when I'm brewing my tea, I try to avoid it going bitter. I'm trying to brew it as strong as I can without it going bitter. However, the tea I'm getting today is a Dancong tea. Now, Dancongs are apparently famous for picking up the aromas and taste of the different vegetation around them when they're growing. And according to this one article that I read, the way to accentuate that is to do what I would normally consider over brewing the tea. So remember how I said I normally try to avoid it going bitter? I'm not doing that today. According to this article that I read on this very same website, the guy who makes this tea, the guy who brew this tea, he says the way to truly enjoy Dancong is to basically brew the crap out of it. And what will happen is, yes, you will get a very bitter brew when you first taste it. However, however, uh, each sip, here's what he says. Each sip is tremendously powerful, with bitterness coming in as a prelude to intense Dancong mineral wood texture. After the sip, the sweet aftertaste comes as a beautiful, soothing contrast. So, I am going to go in search of that beautiful, soothing contrast, and we'll see how that goes. I'm afraid, actually, this is... You know, a lot of people have a tea pet, which is a little thing you put on your tea table to pour your hot water over. I have a tea pet. I'm not going to pour hot water over this one. Okay, let's see what take a look, see what we got here. Interesting. So, by the way, the Yashi Dancong is what it says on here. That, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying that, can actually translate to duck shit oolong. That's right, duck shit Dancong Oolong. Yeah, apparently, and you know, the more I think about it, the more I think this legend doesn't make sense. The farmer or farmers who started growing this tea, they didn't want other farmers coming and stealing cuttings off their trees, so they named it duck shit oolong. I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I think that doesn't make sense. So, all right. So normally when I am brewing a strip oolong like this, I will fill up my Daimon about half full, maybe a little full. So there's a little look at come on, focus, there you go. There's a little look at the oolong, little black strips of leaves there. No, not mine. It's mine, not yours. That is normally, if I were brewing this the way I normally brew tea, that is how much I would use at this moment. I would boil it with some hot water for just a few seconds, pour it off, and taste it. That's not what I'm doing today. Oh, just a lot of leaves. I'm not going to get it out. There we go. Okay, now we're getting there. Yeah. We'll put some of that back. Okay. Look at that. It's coming over the lid. That is a lot of leaves. So let me... So I'm going to hit it with hot water, with boiling hot water. I'm going to pour a wash over it. The wash is going to make the leaves pliable, so I can, you know what, I think I'm going to put that back on, because the pictures I've seen, there's even more tea in there than that, so I don't know. for penny per pound. Okay. That is a lot of freaking tea. Okay, my water is hot. It's time to pour over the wash. This is supposed to make the leaves pliable enough that I can get the lid on. Yeah, like YouTube. I'm gonna time this. Make sure my water's hot. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so normally when I'm brewing this, I probably would have stopped brewing now. I probably would have poured out the first infusion. But that's not what we're doing today. I'm going for a whole 30 seconds of this. I'm afraid. I'm really uncertain what this is going to be like here. All right, that's been about 30 seconds. Charcoaly. So there is the tea I got. Kind of a, I don't know, a rusty red color to it. It does smell kind of sweet though. That's a lot of leaf. Alright. Okay, so the other thing that it said is to drink a small amount and drink it in 3 sips, quote, aerating between each sip. So here we go. It does smell good though. It smells really good. Not sure what I think. Are these noises bothering you, Saber? Well, okay, it wasn't as bitter as I was expecting it to be. I mean, yes, it's bitter. I don't know that I'm experiencing that soothing contrast with the what are you doing? I don't know what his problem is. All right, you. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I did not get that soothing contrast. I'm still tasting the tea. I'm still tasting the aftertaste. I can still taste the bitterness on my tongue. Give me another steeping here. Go about 45 seconds, I think, this time. Really even strong. I don't know. 30. Yeah, I'll go stick with 30 seconds. A lot of water this time. Got a little too much water in there that time. You don't, when you're using a gaiwan, you don't want to put the water right up to the, fill the water right up to the rim, because you're going to be holding on to the rim, and that means it's going to get hot. Alright, 20 seconds. So this could be an unpleasant experience to pour. 30 seconds, there we go. Okay, let's see what we got here. That's what I get for filling it so full. That's what I get for filling it so full. Getting a little hot. So I think last time I said that a lot of times I consider the second infusion the best. Taking a look at the liquor there. That was interesting. Try that again. See if I can do that again. I'm taking time between each sip to give any aftertaste that this thing has a chance to grow. One more. So my first I don't know what I think. Yes, it's bitter like I was expecting to. There is a pleasant aftertaste that is also a little on the bitter side, so not the sweet aftertaste I was expecting. I think I am going to have to brew this, not today, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to have to try brewing this the way I normally brew my teas and see if I like that better. As now, it's an experience I'm glad I had. I'm glad I tried. And it's not entirely unpleasant exactly, but I think I might like it better if I were to brew it the way I normally brew my tea. Which is a more economical way of brewing too, because damn, that is a lot of leaf. I'm gonna get a couple more steepings out of this and see how it, see what I think after I've done 2 steepings so far. I'm gonna do, I know, a few more, see what I think. Yeah, that bitter taste, that aftertaste is still there, and it is still is a bitter aftertaste as far as I think. So I am, so far I like the way I normally brew my tea better. So this was the experiment I'm glad I had. You were there for it. I hope you enjoyed this experiment. I think I'm going to call this video done for now. You have a great day, Aunt Wendy. I love you. Bye bye.